first week of January this year, 59 people in Wuhan, China contacted the local authorities, for they had fallen ill to a mysterious pneumonic illness. They all had high temperatures and shortness of breath. All of them had become ill in the last 2 weeks of December and absolutely astounded the doctors. The authorities just couldn't figure out what the illness was. They ruled out SARS, MERS and bird flu, and they even figured out where it came from, the seafood market. But a plethora of questions still trouble the scientists.
Professor Leo Poon at the Hong Kong University said that there have been no hospital outbreaks, so it looks better than SARS, but viruses and bacteria can adapt and mutate, and we have to be very cautious about that. Now, of course, we have taken the appropriate amount of organ, but we really haven't taken the adequate amount, because if we had, then this problem of this COVID-19 causing coronavirus would not have grown to such levels that it now endangers the very existence of humanity itself. Important things first. Let's talk about what this virus really is, how it spreads, and how it goes about attacking the body of its host.
The severe acute respiratory syndrome coronavirus 2, officially known as SARS-CoV-2, is a highly contagious virus which spreads from person to person. It falls in the family of coronaviruses. When we cough and sneeze, we emit water droplets from our mouths or noses. Oftentimes, when we're standing close to someone, these water droplets get inhaled by that other person. The new coronavirus uses these water droplets to spread. Upon entering a human cell, like all viruses do, SARS-CoV-2 hijacks the cell's genetic systems and forces them to replicate its own genetic information. It mainly attacks the lungs and causes a fever, a sore throat, fatigue, shortness of breath, and, with a less than 2% chance, death. But that misleadingly low mortality rate doesn't mean that we start partying and going to beaches. This is a collective effort, meaning that not just the scientists, but we are also involved in it. Keeping that in mind, what really are scientists doing to combat this illness? Well, finally, let's demystify the latest research, as of 10 days ago, around COVID-19. Since the starting of this pandemic, several chemical compounds have been tested as possible drugs, and as many as 60 are continuing to be tested. Chloroquine, azithromycin, and tocilizumab are just the tip of the iceberg. So, what are scientists specifically focusing on while testing drugs? What are their criteria? Well, researchers are focusing on 3 ways to attack COVID-19. Number 1, interrupting the virus's ability to replicate itself, which pharmaceutical companies like Gilead Sciences are focusing on. Number 2, using the immune system's antibodies, which companies like AbCellera and Regeneron are interested in. And number 3, stopping the immune system from spinning out of control, which the Swiss pharmaceutical giant Roche is looking into.
Well, in the mid-2010s, the American National Institute for Allergies and Infectious Diseases collaborated with Gilead Sciences to produce a drug against Ebola, and they came up with remdesivir. The funny thing is, it didn't work for Ebola though. But it does seem to work for coronaviruses like SARS, MERS, and even SARS-CoV-2, which is, yes, the coronavirus that causes COVID-19. 4 trials of remdesivir are underway in the United States, which should provide results by the end of April. This drug was also tested on 14 passengers from the Diamond Princess, the cruise ship which docked in Japan 2 months ago. Now, apart from remdesivir, 2 other drugs are also being tested for COVID-19. And these drugs have a little bit of controversy around them. These are chloroquine and hydroxychloroquine.
2 months ago, the Wuhan Institute of Virology proved these drugs to have some extent of antiviral efficacy in human cells.
Now, of course, our good old man, President Donald Trump, was quick to announce that these drugs will help end the pandemic. But this statement was quickly criticized because the French study that he based his statement on was not that, well, extensively designed.
The second strategy involves identifying antibodies which our immune system releases upon being attacked by SARS-CoV-2 and building therapies around these to help those who have been infected.
AbCellera is a biotechnology firm which is taking up this approach.
AbCellera has been taking blood samples of the people who have recently recovered from COVID-19 and has identified 500 relevant antibodies among the billions others floating in their blood which target COVID-19.
New York-based biotechnology firm Regeneron is also taking a similar approach.
Now let's come to the third approach scientists are taking, preventing the immune system from going crazy, or in technical terms, from starting a cytokine storm. You see, when SARS-CoV-2 attacks the lungs, the immune system responds by releasing certain chemicals called cytokines. In severe cases, however, these cytokines can be overproduced and can completely drown the lungs, causing a cytokine storm. And that is not good.
The Swiss pharmaceutical company Roche is one of the few companies going forward with the third approach.
And is testing 2 drugs, tocilizumab and sarilumab, for efficacy in stopping cytokine storms.
Okay, now we've looked at the latest drug research around COVID-19, and we've also looked at some basic information about it. But now the most important thing left is what we can do to stop the spread of this disease. Let's go. First thing, wash your hands with any soap. This, anything, just wash your hands. Because let me tell you one fact, any kind of soap absolutely annihilates any pathogen on your hands, may it be a bacterium or a virus. The third thing you can do is sanitize your hands. Please remember that any hand sanitizer you use must have at least 60% alcohol. And finally, please abide by the rules of social distancing, which means staying at least 1.5 meters away from any person near you, like I am staying 1.5 meters away from my cameraman. And please, the most effective way to do this is to stay at home. Just stay at home, okay? Stay at home. If we regularly stay updated on the research being done around COVID-19 and support scientists as much as we can, and do the things that I've just said, then this disease will stop torturing us in no time. Okay, let me tell you something. This video took a lot of time and effort to make. Especially when online school started for us guys. Running this channel just seemed impossible, but I still did it, and I'm going to continue doing it. The ways you can show your support are by subscribing, liking this video, sharing it with your friends and family as well, and being sure to leave a comment down below in the comment section. Stay tuned for more interesting science videos and 2 or possibly even 3 upcoming premium films, and I'll see you later.